People don't realize how much their daily routine affects their life until it's already been affecting them for years. No, actually, when you say to yourself, I'll do it tomorrow, or you'll do it one day, or you're too tired today, or you'll get back on track later, like those little choices start stacking up. And the crazy part is, it's like you don't really see the damage or even the benefit of some habits until later, right? It's that invisible compound interest that grows over time. Like that's why your system matters so much. Because discipline is great, right? Obviously, discipline alone does a lot of work, but it's not going to be enough in order to save you. Because there are going to be days when you're tired, days when you're going to be annoyed, days when you don't feel like doing anything, or even when your motivation's not there, or whatever it is. There's going to be times where you're not going to do what you're supposed to do, even though you know you're supposed to do it. There are times where you know you're going to want to go to the gym, at least especially in the beginning, where you just decide not to because you're tired, you don't feel like it, right? Not that big of a deal, it's one day. And then it turns into 2 days, then 3 days, then 4 days. And then now you're a month not going to the gym, not eating right, and then now you're back to where you were before. Very basic example. Like if your entire life depends on when you feel motivated, like you're going to fail yourself over and over and over again. You're going to have to start over. You have to start over again and again and again and again. Okay? Like this is why you need systems. Right? You need something that works when you don't want to work. You need something that carries you when your mind's not in the right place. Like you need a routine so solid that when you first step outside of it, it starts to feel weird. Like that's when you know you start to build something real, right? That's when your life starts running on autopilot in a good way. Like not in a bad way, like when you're careless or whatever, but like autopilot where the right things are already built into your day. And you don't have to keep negotiating with yourself in order to get up every single morning or go to the gym every single time or eat properly, right? Because honestly, one of the biggest problems that people have, this includes me too, is that they keep trying and they rely on willpower for everything, okay? And willpower is cool, but it does run out, okay? Willpower is not meant to be the foundation of your whole life. It's not built to carry every decision, every workout, every meal, every study session, every task, every goal. Like, that's just too much pressure for willpower to handle, right? Now, if you're obsessed with whatever goal it is, then that's another thing. That's not what we're talking about. Okay, the more decisions that you have to make throughout the day, the more chances that you give yourself to make the wrong ones. So the goal really is, at least with the system or routine that you're building, is that you make as many unnecessary decisions as possible. I'm sorry. The goal is to remove as many unnecessary decisions as possible. I'm so sorry. Essentially, you want to make the good choice easier to make and the bad choice harder to make, right? And this is how, necessarily building discipline easier, but it makes your discipline a lot easier to have because you don't have to force it every second. Does that make sense? Like, for example, right? You need to study, but you don't want to wait till you feel ready, right? You want to be able to set up a time, set up a place, set up your materials, make it normal for your regular life. When you get off of school and when you get home, you're going to be done, whatever you're going to be doing, you'll be hopping on the game. Instead of going to school, you go to the library, you go to Panera Bread, you go to Starbucks, you sit there for 2 hours, study it out, then after that you go home, you do whatever, right? You got to make it normal. You got to make it a part of your identity. You have to make it a part of your day, especially if you're a man. If you need to train, you don't need to spend 30 minutes debating whether or not you need to go. You need to have the change of clothes in your car, or you need to already be in your clothes. You know exactly what you're doing for your workout. If you need to eat better, you need to learn how to meal prep the healthy stuff. You don't need to, if you have junk food, you eliminate at least 80% of it out your house, right? You got to kill the stuff in your environment that's not helping you. right? And that's what people don't really talk about enough. A lot of success has less to do with how bad you want it and more to do with how your environment is set up and how you act in said environment, right? If your room is messy, your mind might be messy. If your schedule is random, your progress might be random. If your phone is distracting you for every 5 minutes, your focus might be destroyed every 5 minutes. You know, we talk about having, or at least when I'm online, we talk about having people having low attention spans. That's why y'all can't sit down for a 10-minute video. Once you figure out that you want to have a better life, you need to start building the systems around having a better life. And once you start doing those things, it gets easier and easier and easier, not necessarily because your life got easier, but because you got smarter in how you move in your life. Right? Is that they think discipline always means locked in all the time and being super intense, super focused, and that's good, but the real discipline is a little bit quieter than that. The real discipline is doing the things that matter so consistently that they start to become automatic. Like, you don't have to hype yourself up every single time you want to go to the gym. You don't have to feel like a beast every day. You just need to get the hard stuff done consistently. And that's what a routine does. You know, the routine changes your standard. When you get used to doing productive things every day, doing nothing starts to feel off. Like it feels weird. It feels like something's out of place. And that's not, and it's a good thing. You know, that means that you've trained your mind to expect progress. You know, you trained yourself to understand that growth is normal, not optional. Like you stop looking at discipline as some special event that happens to you on a regular basis, and you start realizing that it's just a part of your life now. It's a part of your schedule. I made a video about that in the past, but once that happens, you know, everything starts to compound over time, you know, and that's another part that people underestimate as well, is these small habits compounding. Small habits, especially when you're changing your bad habits to good ones, like they don't look powerful in the beginning. Like drinking water every day to make sure you're hydrated doesn't look very powerful. Going to the gym, even when you don't feel like it, doesn't look powerful. Reading a few pages, saving a little money, studying an extra 20 minutes, you know, getting one more rep in, waking up a little bit earlier, cleaning your space, logging your meals, limiting your distraction. Like none of that looks crazy by itself. Like none of the stuff I just listed looks crazy by itself, but like over time, that stuff starts to add up. And in a way, or eventually, it completely changes your life because the compound effect is very real. Like if you do positive things consistently, you may not notice the result today or next week or even next month. But 10 years from now, you're going to look back and realize all that little decisions that you did quietly built something huge. Something huge. And the crazy part is like when people see the result, you know, they're going to think it happened overnight. Like they're going to say that you just got lucky or you finally locked in. Like, no. Like they just didn't see all the days where you were stacking the right habits while nobody was watching. But the same thing in reverse works as well. And that's the scary part. Bad habits compound too. If you stay up too late, that compounds. If you're procrastinating, that compounds. If you're eating badly, that compounds. If you're scrolling, you know, instead of building, like that compounds. If you keep avoiding hard stuff, that compounds. The problem is that the negative effect is just as sneaky as the positive effect. That's why your habits, your systems, your routines are going to matter significantly more than you give them credit for. It's not going to hit you all at once. It builds slowly. It builds up slowly until the day you look around and you realize, damn, how did I even get here? When you start realizing that you're not yourself anymore, or worse, you think this is just who you are, when this is not the way you've always been, right? You don't know why your body feels off. You don't know why your brain feels foggy, but you do know that your life feels harder than it should be. And when you trace it back, it's the small things that you don't notice that you did for a long time that demonstrate how far you slid or when you started sliding. And that's why system matters so much, right? Systems work for you when you don't feel like it. Like, your systems protect you from your worst moments. You know, a good system doesn't care if you're tired today. A good system doesn't care if your mood is off. A good system doesn't even care if you're perfect. The system just keeps you moving. I like to move it. Anyway, keep you moving in the actual direction that you need to be going into, right? And that's what discipline gives you too. It gives you a little bit of self-respect, because every time you do what you said you were going to do, even when it's hard, you build trust within yourself, right? And that matters more than people think. A lot of people walk around stressed out because they don't really fully trust themselves anymore, because that's just who they are. They're their bad decisions. They never become better. They never do anything better. But, you know, anyway, they just keep breaking promises to themselves. They'll keep saying tomorrow, and tomorrow turns into next week, the next week turns into next month, then next year, and after a while, they start believing their own words, and that's just dangerous, because confidence isn't just about talking big. Confidence comes from proof. Like, you know those really arrogant anime characters who are arrogant the entire show, and then they're like, and then there's a moment where they have to show it, and they're like, dang, there's a reason why he's cocky. There's a reason why he's cocky, and they're able to demonstrate it. Just think about Escanor. Anyway, and the things with systems is that you need a system that's so simple, so repeatable, that helps you build every day, that helps you build proof for yourself every day, that you don't even feel it. Like, start small and just keep it consistent. Let you get some momentum. Like, what time do you wake up every morning? Try to wake up 30 minutes before you normally wake up. You know, the bigger life you want usually doesn't come from one giant moment, right? It doesn't come from boring. The bigger life you want, it doesn't come from like one giant moment, right? It comes from the boring things you've done well over and over again. And the people who win long term are usually the people who can stay locked in to the process when nobody is clapping for them. You know, they understand that the results are delayed. They understand that the effort today might not show up until months or years later, right? And then when that giant moment comes, they're able to take advantage of the opportunity in full, because now they're prepared for it because of all this other time that they've used in order to be ready for that moment, right? You want to try to become the kind of person that your ideal circumstances need you to be. Think about this, right? How can you make your workouts automatic? How can you make your studying automatic? How can you make your nutrition automatic? How can you make your focus automatic? How can you make your environment automatic so it supports the version of you that you're trying to become? Because unless you have to think about the right choices, the more likely you are actually going to stick with them. And if you can get the important parts, you know, of your life running on autopilot, that's when everything starts feeling different. That's when you start fighting yourself so much. That's when you stop depending on motivation. That's when you can actually benefit from motivation more. You know, you start building a life where discipline is normal, you know, and that's the real goal, you know, not excitement, not a burst of energy on some random day, not one good week that's just going to change your life. But, you know, just a system, a lifestyle, a routine that keeps you moving even when you don't feel like it, basically. Because if you can stay consistent with the small stuff, the big stuff starts to take care of itself. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed the video, please let me know in the comment section. If there's any topics you want me to talk about, obviously leave a comment down below. Hope you all enjoyed. Peace. Adios.